Epilogue. Echoes among stars. The early morning mist clung to the ancient mountains, shrouding the construction site in ghostly white as workers prepared for another day of excavation. The new bullet train extension had been delayed for weeks after unexpected discoveries in these remote highlands, and Dr. Nakamura Hideo's archaeological team had been called in to assess the findings. "Careful with that ground-penetrating radar," Dr. Nakamura instructed his assistant. "Whatever's buried here has remained undisturbed for centuries." The mountains had always been a place of legends. Locals spoke of ancient guardians who once protected the valley from star visitors, a folktale Dr. Nakamura had dismissed as typical rural mythology until 3 days ago, when his team discovered the sealed chamber beneath an unremarkable shrine foundation. "Professor, we've cleared the final stone seal," called Yuki, his graduate student. Her voice echoed from the excavation pit, excitement breaking through her usual professional reserve. Dr. Nakamura descended carefully into the chamber, where preservation specialists had been working to stabilize the environment. LED lights illuminated what centuries of darkness had hidden, a perfectly preserved suit of samurai armor, not ornamental, but practical, bearing subtle battle damage that had been meticulously repaired. It sat in meditative seiza position, empty, yet somehow maintaining a dignified presence. "Late 16th century, early 17th at the latest," murmured Dr. Nakamura, examining the armor without touching it. "Exceptional craftsmanship, but unlike typical daimyo display pieces." "There's something else," Yuki said, directing his attention to a small recess in the stone floor beside the armor. Inside lay an object that immediately seemed out of place, a container made of material resembling neither wood nor metal nor stone, its surface unmarked by time and showing a subtle iridescence that caught the artificial light with properties that made Dr. Nakamura's scientific mind struggle for classification. 3 days later, in the university laboratory, a team of specialists gathered as Dr. Nakamura carefully opened the container. Inside rested a crystalline object approximately the size of a small fist, perfectly preserved and seemingly impossible. Its facets cut with precision beyond the capabilities of feudal Japan, its internal structure containing what appeared to be suspended geometric patterns that occasionally caught the light with impossible depth. "Material analysis is inconclusive," reported Dr. Yoshida from Material Science. "It resembles no known crystalline structure in our database. The internal formations appear artificially created, yet the material itself dates to approximately 1625, according to our initial carbon dating of organic particles trapped in the container." "That's impossible," Dr. Nakamura stated flatly. "This level of precision manufacturing didn't exist until centuries later." Professor Tanaka, the elderly historian who had been silently observing, finally spoke. "There are references in certain obscure scrolls to a brotherhood formed in these mountains following an extraordinary encounter. The Star Blade Brotherhood, they called themselves. Most scholars dismissed it as poetic fantasy, lacking concrete evidence until perhaps now." As the discussion continued, no one noticed the crystal's subtle reaction to the university's advanced scanning equipment. A faint luminescence began to build within its core, awakened after centuries of dormancy. Later that night, alone in the lab, Dr. Nakamura noticed the gentle pulsing light. Approaching cautiously, he watched in astonishment as the crystal responded to his proximity, its internal patterns shifting, organizing, until suddenly. The laboratory disappeared in a projection of light so detailed and vast that Dr. Nakamura gasped aloud. Star systems, nebulae, navigation paths connecting points across unimaginable distances filled the room around him. Symbols he couldn't comprehend floated alongside celestial bodies viewed from perspectives impossible from Earth. At the center of this cosmic display hovered 5 distinct figures, rendered in light but unmistakably samurai, standing with swords drawn, facing outward as if guarding something precious. Behind them, barely visible, loomed the suggestion of a vessel unlike any human craft, its design both organic and mechanical. As Dr. Nakamura stood transfixed within this impossible stellar cartography, he understood with sudden clarity that humanity's history contained chapters yet unwritten in any academic text, that the quiet mountains surrounding them had once witnessed an encounter that redefined everything. The projection faded gradually, the crystal's light diminishing to a subtle glow, leaving the scientist alone with knowledge that would forever change humanity's understanding of both their past and their future among the stars. In the ancient armor's empty gaze, Dr. Nakamura thought he detected something like satisfied recognition, as if its long vigil was finally approaching completion. The Brotherhood had kept its promise. The knowledge had been preserved. And now, as humanity reached toward the stars with their own technology, the warning and the invitation, left by visitors from beyond, waited to guide them. The circle, centuries in the making, was complete. And somewhere among distant stars, descendants of those who had once tested Earth's warriors perhaps watched and wondered when the meeting, initiated through challenge but concluded in mutual respect, would finally continue.